And we say good morning to you. We are broadcasting live on the road. We're at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City on this cold Wednesday. We got more snow coming, they're telling us, by the end of the week, so we'll see. And colder temperatures, and it's going to warm up. Think spring's what I'm telling you. Think spring, because it's coming, and it'll be here before you know it, and we're okay. So got to go through it. Folks, I just talked to them here. They said, man, it's cold, and this and that. I'm saying, it's winter in the Appalachians, folks. It is what it is. And for once, we're getting some cold weather and some wintry weather. Again, they're calling for some more stuff coming up this weekend. Don't know what it is yet, but we're here tomorrow. We're going to be at Port Travis Deli. Then Friday, we'll kick off the weekend. We'll be at Food City on a Food City Friday in Gray. Ready to bring it to you there. Looking forward to hanging out. We got basketball tonight. Got a doubleheader. We have Milligan and Montreat. The Cavaliers are coming to town. I'll tell you more about that coming up. Let's get it cranked up. We got lots to cover. Everybody's up in arms about Bill Belichick. I don't know why. I don't know why I'd be surprised. Why would you put him in on the first vote after what he's done or what he did? So, but I'm not one of the voters, but we'll talk about that. We got some baseball news. We got certainly some college basketball news. Tennessee plays tonight, so we're going to be joined by Andrew Smith, sports writer from the Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News, along with his cohort, Jeff Birchfield, a little bit later on, because guess what? We're 18 days out in NASCAR, and it starts this weekend for the Cookout Clash again in Winston-Salem at Bowman Gray Stadium. So that's coming up. We're going to talk about NASCAR, getting ready for the new season, and some sports that he is covering as well. But let's get it cranked. Here are the Kingdom Heirs with the national anthem out of Dollywood on the Tom Taylor Sports.
1, 2. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We are live again here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Be a good day for some mac and cheese because it's hot. Good day for some chicken noodle soup or tortilla chicken noodle soup. Both hot. Warm your pipes, as they say. So it's cold out there. It's the wind's what's making it cold. The temperature's not as cold as it has been, but the wind certainly is cutting you out there. So it's warm in here, though. It's nice and toasty at Chick-fil-A on People Street here in Johnson City. So the big story this morning is Bill Belichick did not make it on the first ballot Hall of Famer. Okay, so he didn't make it. All the sports people are up in arms. I don't know why. He'll make it in next year for sure, 2027, but will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer after he fell short of the 40 out of 50 first place votes, 40 out of 50 votes rather, needed for induction to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 8 Super Bowl titles, 333 career wins, including playoffs, the most by a head coach behind Don Shula. 31 playoff wins, the most by a head coach in NFL history. Didn't go in on the first first go-round. But you look at two things. It was Spygate and Deflategate. What long was he when he was with the Patriots, of course? Belichick was fined $500,000 in 2007, the largest fine ever levied against an NFL coach for his involvement. Melissa Kale's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. I am live right now. I'm not sure who you are, but I know her, and she's a good lady.
She is good. I just met her for the very first time.
Oh, you're in high cotton. No, you're in high cotton. You're
My name's Lisa Lipe. Smoked a pipe, but it was a long time ago.
Lisa Lipe Smoke a Pipe.
It was a long time ago.
See, when you do these live shows, you don't know who you're gonna meet. Lisa Lipe, who smoked a pipe long time ago. That's good. Long time ago. And Melissa Kale. What'd you get? Did you get nuggets? What'd you get, ma'am?
Chicken sandwich.
There you go. On a cold day. It's good.
Who are you, sir?
That's me.
Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Yes, ma'am. Right here, right now, live.
I know this much about sports.
I do too. I'm right there with you. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't. My dear, you take care. Melissa Kell, what a nice lady. So, you never know who you're going to run into here when you do these shows. I love it. Haven't talked to her in a long time. Her and her hubby, Robert. All right, so Spygate, Deflategate. Belichick fined $500,000 back in 07 for a Spygate scandal, the most ever. Again, levied against an NFL coach at that point. Okay, so he has a tarnished record. He's going to go in. And all these sports writers, oh, it's an insult. Oh, well, okay, it may be. I mean, but he's going to go in. So why didn't he go in first? Well, probably because of that. So I'll get Andrew in a minute, get his take. But again, you go back to the same thing with Pete Rose, the late Pete Rose, Belichick, Pick'em, Alex Rodriguez, Rafael Palmeiro, Mark, all these guys that got in trouble by doing stuff either off the field, off the court, off the baseball diamond, whatever. So, do you still put them in based on what they've done? Of course. But, again, Belichick's resume is probably the best out there, certainly one of the best of all time. But he was embroiled in two different scandals, and so the voters, I guess, have not forgotten that. I don't know, was that right or wrong? I don't know. So I'm not sure how you ascertain whether that's right or wrong. I don't know. So I just know he'll go in, but he's not going in the first time, so everybody's up in arms, and it's okay. It's all right. But Belichick will not go in. The guys they are talking about going in, Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, two of the guys are talking about going in to the NFL Hall of Fame. They kick those guys around. And so, let's see, Mahomes is upset about it. J.J. Watt's upset about it. Belichick, one of the greatest coaches, if not the very best. Resume speaks for itself, no question. Nobody's arguing that point. Then why didn't he go in? Well, you have to ask the pollsters, but they clearly didn't vote him in, at least not this year. But again, he'll go in next year, and is it a travesty? I think it's what they – Belichick had no comment, so, of course, what do you say? He did something wrong. They didn't want him in, and so there you go. All right, college basketball. Nebraska's 24-game winning streak gone. Huskers lose last night in a wild one. Great finish. It was third-ranked Michigan defeating the Huskers by 3 in Ann Arbor, 75-72. Had one upset last night. Purdue continues their slide. That's what? They've lost 2 in a row now. Boilermakers lost Saturday, now lose last night to their bitter rival, the Indiana Hoosiers, by 5. Other winners last night, number 7 Michigan State, 9-point win over Rutgers. There's a lot of parity, a lot of closeness in college basketball right now. The wins they're not blowouts. Hello, Reba Whitehead. How you doing, dear? 17th ranked Virginia only a 3-point win in double overtime over Notre Dame. 15th ranked Arkansas, 4-point win over Oklahoma. Parity. March Madness is going to be great. Number 2 UConn only a 6-point win over Providence. Alabama did blow out Missouri by 26. 23rd ranked Crimson Tide. I don't know what the big guy did. Doesn't matter. He's there and he's not going away. 21st ranked St. Louis. I've learned at my age, you control what you can control. So they're going to do what they're going to do. I'm just here to report it. You decide what you think is right or wrong. But 23rd ranked Alabama, big win, 26 points over Missouri. Number 21 St. Louis, a 3-point win over George Washington. 24th ranked Miami of Ohio stays unbeaten. They beat UMass by 2. And Vanderbilt throttles Kentucky. They've got problems in Lexington. It's a little obvious. They got beat by 25 points last night. Now, Vanderbilt's a good ball club. I don't know if they're an 80-55 ball club better than Kentucky. I mean, it was not even close from the get-go, right out of the chute. They got it handed to them, and so the Commodores beat them by 25 last night. So I'm sure there's an uneasiness right now in Lexington with the Kentucky Wildcat program, and there should be. 3 games tonight, top 25. Rick Pitino's St. John's Ball Club, 25th ranked, hosting the Butler Bulldogs. Number 19, Florida, on the road at South Carolina tonight in Columbia. And 10th ranked Houston. The Cougars will be taking on the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian tonight in men's top 25 basketball. Tennessee, unranked. They're number 26. The top 25, they'll be taking on Georgia, who's 27, 28. Good matchup tonight down in Athens, a remake from last night with the weather. And so that's what's going on in men's top 25 college basketball. We are here live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. We've got a doubleheader. Can't wait. 5:15 Lady Buffs, men to follow tonight from Steve Lacy Fieldhouse. Milligan University basketball tonight. It's an exciting Milligan University basketball doubleheader. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting you to join me this Wednesday from Steve Lacy Fieldhouse as the Milligan University Buffs play host to the Monterey Cavaliers out of North Carolina in a basketball doubleheader. Lady Buffs will get it started at 5:15 with the men to follow, audio and video. Milligan hosting Monterey in a key AAC matchup. It all starts at 5:15 this Wednesday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Milligan University Buffalo basketball.
Hey, my name is Dante, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nuggets is the authentic taste of it. You can tell it's freshly breaded, seasoned perfectly, and it just has this unique taste that compares to no other. Once I bite into it,
My name is Meredith, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese is the oven-toasted, cheesy top layer. If home had a flavor, it would be Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese. I'm passionate about it.
Why Cannon's Fine Home Furnishings in downtown Elizabethton?
When everything goes corporate and everybody, you walk in and you're customer number 1,799, here you're Tom, and we know who Tom is, we know who you are, and we do it the old-fashioned way, so we're big enough now that we can take care of everybody and we can, get the good deals, we get the volume discounts and all that kind of stuff, and we're one of the last family-owned furniture stores in East Tennessee. But we're small enough that we know who you are and we can take care of you.
Absolutely. Social media, how do we find you?
We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, at cannonshomestore.com on the internet. And just look up Cannon's Fine Home Furnishings on Facebook.
Hours are open?
Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturday, 9 to 5.
And the magic phone number to call?
423-543-6937.
Be loyal. Buy local. Biden Elizabeth from Cannon's Fine Home Furnishings, proud sponsor of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
This is Big Country, and this is
Just Tom, and this is the Big Country Sports Show, and we say,
Go
Cyclones.
Cyclones.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we are here live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City, so I was looking at the weather and the cold temperatures got here, but we're not the only one that had cold temperatures. How about San Antonio, 19 degrees? Wow. Tulsa, Oklahoma got down to 0. We got another round of Arctic air coming in this weekend. Springfield, Missouri, which you don't normally think is going to be a cold place, minus 11. And then, New Orleans got down to 27 in New Orleans. So more coming. The fact that San Antonio low was, previous record was back in 1897. San Antonio, Texas, 19 degrees Monday morning. Wow. So we deal with it here because we're in the country. We're in the mountains, rather. We're country folk. And good night. Looks like the abominable snowman. Andrew Smith in the house. He is here. Our first guest. He's got him an Oilers hat on. Oilers toboggan and a Tennessee jacket. He's very well equipped. We're going to ask him about Joey Aguilar. We're asking about transfer portal. How did Tennessee end up doing? We'll get his take on Bill Belichick. Everybody's up in arms because he didn't make it in the first round. If I knew, and I don't know Belichick, I would say he could care less. He knows he's going to get in. But anyway, Andrew Smith, sports writer, Johnson City Press. Our first guest is next on show number 2,435. We say happy birthday to Alan Alda from the MASH series. Remember Alan? Alan Alda was, what, Hawkeye Pierce?
I think so.
Yep, he is 90 today. That's the big birthday today. Back after this, talking sports, Andrew Smith on the Tom Taylor Sports Show live at Chick-fil-A People Street in Johnson City.
Hey there, neighbors. Todd Houston here with the Elizabethan Church of Christ, wishing you a very happy new year and a wildly successful 2026. I'd like to invite you to come and get to know our family here at Elizabethan as we are seeking to be more like our Lord every day. We're no perfect people, but we're a people that love the Lord and love you. We'd love to get to know you. If you'd like to join us, our times are at 10 and 11 a.m. on Sunday, 6:30 p.m., and then again Wednesday evening at 7. You can find us on Facebook or at elizabethancoc.org.
Hey, it's your girl Mayani. A little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Cobb salad is the chicken. Literally, the nuggets, they smack. When you put those nuggets in the salad, it just brings the salad to life. I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A market salad is that the chicken is super juicy and the apples can be a little tangy, also a little sweet as well. So there's just a ton of different flavors. It's just so good.
We're proud to help our region move forward and help reopen every business we can.
Hello to, it's really strange when I see her name pop up. Marilyn Taylor's my mother's name, who she passed away when I was a little boy. I never knew her. So when I see that, it kind of but hello, Marilyn Taylor. How you doing, lady? We are joined right here by our buddy, Andrew Smith. The cold winds blew him in. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yep. So, ton of stuff to cover. Where do we start? Let's talk. You've got the pulse of Tennessee sports, transfer portal, Tennessee. How do we end up doing? And what's the latest on Joey Aguilar? And then we'll get into Badako, I think so. I say this guy's name. I've heard it pronounced 2 or 3 different ways. The Alabama guy. Then Trinidad Chambliss. We know how to say his name. He's up for, and then Aguilar. And there's probably going to be more. But anyway, transfer portal, UT football. How do we end up? Do pretty good or not?
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid class. They added a couple late additions there over the weekend. I believe they're up to 21 commits now, I believe. The headliners are on defense. Chaz Coleman, edge rusher, Amari Campbell, linebacker, both them from Penn State following Jim Knowles over. They came in fairly early in the class. Those are your 2 big headliners there. Campbell was the leading tackler for Penn State as well. So guys that know the Knowles system. Not really a transfer portal addition, but kind of. And Arion Carter was going to go to the draft, ended up deciding to come back. And then lately, tight end out of UT Martin, a little depth at the position with Miles Kitzelman gone, Jack Van Dorselaer gone, a little extra depth at the position there. It's a solid class. You mentioned Joey Aguilar. There's an outside chance he comes back, and Tennessee would have a 4-quarterback room. But the not much has happened since the last time we talked about last week, where he still has his court date scheduled for February the 10th. I believe that'll be like sometime around 2 in the afternoon is when they'll start hearing for that. Obviously, he's seeking another year of eligibility due to the JUCO, the argument that he and his camp, and he's one of many that are making this argument in court that, hey, because NIL rules didn't apply to JUCO, my JUCO years should not count against my eligibility because I was unable to earn NIL money during that time. Will he win the case? I don't know. From what I'm kind of getting a feel for, feels more likely than not that he will not win that case.
Really?
But, you know, because everybody got the blanket waiver thanks to Diego Pavia, which is why Joey Aguilar was able to be the quarterback last year. But I'm not exactly sure if they'll be able to get another year of eligibility go with that blanket waiver. But, hey, crazier things have happened. I wouldn't be that surprised if come mid-February Joey Aguilar is able to come back. And, you know, 'cause I think if he's able to come back, he's going to be your starting quarterback again. I don't think there's much question about it.
I wouldn't think. No, he's earned that.
But, yeah, if not, I think you're probably looking at George McIntyre as the short favorite in the clubhouse. As things stand right now, heading into winter workouts, or I guess winter workouts started a week from today, yesterday, or last week. So I think he'd probably be your short favorite, but obviously if Joey's able to come back, I think that the staff really likes and trusts Joey to be able to be the guy again next year.
Well, he's earned it. I mean, the guy was the leading passer in the South. I mean, I don't know why you'd even, if you're Josh Heupel. I know. What's his name? Brandon. Faison Brandon's coming. He's going to be good. He's only a freshman. But Joey Aguilar is the number one quarterback in the entire Southeastern Conference last year. That's better than Chambliss. That's better than Gunnar Stockton, rather. Better than all these guys. What'd I say, Hunter? Gunnar Stockton. Better than all these guys. Hello, Andy Wilhoit. How you doing, boy? What a warrior that guy is. He is a warrior. You are a warrior, sir. Man, oh, man, what he's been through and still fighting. Andy Wilhoit's a champ in my book. So, but I'm not heard, maybe I'm not around it like you are. I've never heard Aguilar come out and say, yes, if I get another eligibility, I'm coming back to Tennessee. I've never heard that. Is that an assumption that he's going to come, or he's looking elsewhere?
I think that's just the assumption.
Okay.
I think that's just kind of the way it is. With the way the portal and things are structured right now, it'd be kind of difficult for him to move to another school. Considering they technically only have one portal window and it closed this month. So I think the assumption has just kind of been, hey, if Joey wins his case and gets another year, he'll just come back to Tennessee. Not a slam dunk. He has never really came out and said publicly much about the case at all, you know, especially toward the end of the year. Media availabilities, you know, a few of us would kind of continue to ask, hey, you know, do you have thoughts on this? What's your plan for things? And he's like, hey, I'm just taking it one day at a time. I'll worry about that whenever it happens. So, yeah, that's kind of the way it stands right now.
Well, in the land of social media, and everything's out there all the time, 24/7, and to have him not say anything, I'm thinking, okay, either I'm not hearing it or he's not talking it. But either way, it would be a foregone conclusion in my book for what he did last year to bring him back. I think that would really stabilize the quarterbacking core. McIntyre's there. The other kid left, and then you've got
Faison Brandon.
I was going to say it backwards. Faison Brandon coming.
And then you've got the Colorado transfer Ryan Staub who came in as well.
Yeah. So again, I've got Aguilar if he comes back. I say he gets back. I still say, I've said this all week. We'll continue to pound that drum that what the boys in Alabama's going to do. See, they had a hearing supposed to have been yesterday. They not only didn't postpone the hearing because the NCAA attorneys couldn't get there because of weather in Alabama. They gave him 10 more days to play. He's good now through February the 6th. Trinidad Chambliss has said, okay, he couldn't. They gave him a waiver, and they told him no. I mean, he asked for a waiver. So now he sued them, NCAA. His hearing's on February the 12th. I will sit here and tell you I'll be shocked if he doesn't get the chance to play another year. The judge that is proceeding over this case is right there in Oxford. He's a grad of the Ole Miss Law School. Hello, that's Good Old Boy Network. Their contention is if you don't let him play, he's going to lose up to $6 million in NIL. So the right to make a living will be probably the cornerstone of what they're arguing about. I just think it's going to happen. I think anybody, including Aguilar, that will go up and throw their hat in the ring for an extension or a waiver for another year of eligibility, I think they're going to win it. I just don't think NCAA has lost all their umph. It's just me. I just don't think they got the firepower to back it up anymore. Trinidad Chambliss wins that court case. I think he will, but I think the biggest thing is the Alabama guy. I mean, he's there. He's in there till February the, or was it 6th, I read?
I believe 6, yeah.
Got 4 more games to play for Alabama, so he's going to be up to 8 games now. Potentially he can play. So if they rule, and they won't, but if they rule against him hypothetically, okay, do you have to forfeit the wins?
Maybe. I would think so. Now, the way this whole thing's went down, I'm adamantly against it because he was at Alabama for
3 years ago.
3 years. 3 years. And
Signed
they
a contract
decide,
every
hey,
day. Yep.
I'm going to declare for the draft. And the way it works in any of the collegiate sports, basketball, football, baseball, whatever, when you declare for the draft, you're signing a piece of paper saying, I am foregoing my eligibility, whatever I've got left, to go chase the professional dream down.
And I get
you
that.
can't then retroactively get the eligibility that you signed a piece of paper and said, I'm going to forego it because I went to the draft because the pro process hasn't worked out the way I wanted it to. Because I went undrafted and I've had to, be in the G League for a few years. That just doesn't sit right with me. And I found it to be poetic justice in a way that Tennessee was able to beat him and Alabama in his first game back on Saturday.
Well,
obviously, watching from afar, that is just a very frustrating case. And I've seen Bama fans try and say, European guys came in from pro and whatever, and, like Ethan Berg, for example, from Tennessee. It's not the same.
Of course
There
not.
is no college basketball in Europe. The way it works is after dudes graduate college or high school, rather, or they might even go the traditional high school route, is they go to these academies where affiliated with these pro clubs, and then they work their way and they play pro basketball over there. But as long as they've not came to the States, they're still within 5 years of graduating high school, and it's just not the same. They did not forego eligibility to play pro in what the paperwork would say. So, that's been a whole ordeal. Obviously, he had another solid game last night for Bama as they beat Mizzou pretty solidly, but
25.
Yeah, it's been frustrating to watch unfold, to say the least, and to the associations with the judge there in Tuscaloosa that has ties to the Alabama athletics and has been a booster and his wife's been a booster. Like, it's a clear conflict of interest, but we're not going to actually do anything about it. So
I call it a kangaroo court. You know who I blame out all this? I blame Nate Oates. If the Alabama coach had said, all these other coaches, by the way, came out and, very publicly said, oh, Nate doesn't do this. Leading Patino said it. Calipari did it. Todd Golden, the Florida coach, said, if he plays, we're going to beat him anyway. He takes it as a challenge. They play him Saturday, I think, in Gainesville. But Nate Oates, the head coach of Alabama, could have said, no, we want to let this play out in the courts, and then, if he gets free and clear, okay. Temporary restraining order, 10 days. Now it's up to 20 days, I think it is, or 2 weeks, whatever it is. It's extended. And so Nate Oates could have said, as the coach of Alabama, no, we're not going to do this till, the integrity of the game. We love this kid, want him the very best, but he left. As Andrew Smith said, he signed a contract that foregoes eligibility, and he did. He stuck his toe in the professional waters and didn't get very far. We can't help that. They chose not to pick him up. And guys, if you're a 7-footer and the best you can get is the G League, you can't even make the NBA. That tells me something. At 7 foot, you can't get to somebody's not going to take a chance on you on the NBA. So I don't know, and his numbers bear that out. He's not been all that productive when he was with Alabama the first time. I don't know what he did last night, but anyway, to me, Nate Oates was a guy that should have said, no, we're going to sit on this for a while and see how it pans out, but he's not going to play till he's free and clear of the courts. We'd love to have him. He's going to help our basketball team, but it's bigger than that. But it's apparently not bigger than that. And so I blame Nate Oates a lot of it. He could have stopped it midstream and said, nope, let's let it play out in the courts, as I've said, and see what happens, but he didn't.
And I'll add this. I saw a discussion on social media about this, too, of somebody made the comment, there have only been 2 times in college basketball that poster could recall ever saying, I can't believe they're letting this kid play. And both times were Nate Oates at Alabama. A few years ago with Brandon Miller when that whole situation was going on.
Forgot about that.
And then Charles Bediako.
How'd you say it, Biako?
Bediako, I believe.
Bediako?
I'll have to go back and look at the
It
pronunciation
sounds good
guide
to
on
me.
that. But, yeah, both of those instances, Nate Oates kind of questionably saying, yeah, you can stick around.
Wrong.
Indictment on some ways. Maybe that's just me viewing this through the lens of I'm most familiar with the way Rick Barnes runs his program at Tennessee, and I know the way he goes about things. But, yeah, I think just a frustrating situation for most anybody in college basketball.
Well, it's going to. We're talking to Andrew Smith. We're live here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City on People Street. It's going to change, I think, college sports as we know it. It's not going to just be in college basketball. It's going to trickle into football, volleyball, baseball. Any of these guys or ladies have gone, and in the ladies' case, went to the WNBA, and didn't make it. Wanted to come back. I mean, what's going to stop? Anybody can use this as a case now. Okay, well, we're not going to let you come back and play. Will you let Charles come back in Alabama? Okay. Trinidad Chandler says we're not going to get another. You let him come back. He signed and played in the pros and came back. So how come he can, I can't? And that's what there's no template, there's no guardrails. It's wide open. We always use that cliche, the wild, wild west, but it's even worse now. I just don't see it stopping, and I don't think it's going to. I think these guys are going to get what they want. I think they got good enough attorneys. NCAA's losing their power, losing their teeth, if you will. I just think it's going to forever change college athletics as we know, because if they let this guy play, it's not going to stop anybody from coming back. And I used this yesterday. You weren't with me, but yesterday I used me as an example. Hypothetical, to say the least, but I was a hot rod football star at Marshall. 1,000-yard rusher, big man on campus. Huntington's a college town. Everywhere I went, I was the big dog. I get drafted in NFL. Don't do very well at all. Got bounced around, not very good. All right. Got paid okay, nothing great. But then I look back over my shoulder and go, ooh, now I can go back to Marshall, and get some NIL money that wasn't there when I was there before. And I can be the big man on campus again in Huntington, because I was a stud puppy, and everybody loved me. And I got this guy over here saying they're going to pay me, and this guy over here is going to pay me to come back and run the football for Marshall. And what's going to stop him? There isn't anything going to stop him. If this goes through with Bediako or whatever his name is from Alabama, that scenario is going to play out all over this country.
And I think for me, the biggest area I could see it isn't football, just because there's no official minor league, lower league of the NFL. It's just the NFL. For me, it's baseball. Dudes that went to AA, AAA.
Great point.
Hey, like I said, the money's not great, and it's gotten a little bit better for the past handful of years, but it's still not great in the minor leagues, especially if you weren't a high draft pick, didn't get a great signing bonus. Hey, I only went to Tennessee for 2 years. I still technically have 2 years that I said I forewent when I declared, but I could absolutely get it back. Hey, I'm going to take my talents this spring to Knoxville, and then once I help them go, do whatever they're going to do this season in June.
Great point.
I'm going to go back to the minor league system.
And there's not a thing they can do to stop it.
And I don't know if there's anything you can do to stop it with the precedent you've set.
No.
Like I said, football, I'm not exactly sure if you can use the Bediako case as the precedent there, but you absolutely can for some baseball.
It's a great point.
You absolutely can.
Never thought of that.
Dudes in the minor leagues can absolutely, at least I know there are probably a few that are thinking about that. Hey, I've kind of stalled out here. I'm not going up the ladder as quick as I'd like. What if I went back to college?
That's a great point. Never thought of baseball. That's a more valid point. You're right. Way to go, Smith. That's more valid than basketball. This is exactly right, because most of us know in AA, unless you're a hot rod or single A or triple A, you're not making a whole lot of money. I mean, you're making okay, but you ain't making a whole lot. And so to go back to college and reinvent the wheel where you were before when you were a hot rod to get drafted to begin with makes perfect sense. So it's not just basketball. It's drop the rock in the pond and watch the ripples. We're going to take a break, come right back, and get his take on the NFL. His Titans got a new coach. The Raiders don't. We still don't have one. 3 teams don't have one now. The Browns, the Cardinals, and the Raiders. So we will take a break, and we will see what's going on with that NFL. Bill Belichick got snubbed first round of the Hall of Fame. I don't know Bill Belichick, but I would think he could care less. But I could be wrong, but it's like he's going to go in. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Get his take on some NFL news. The Super Bowl's right around the corner. We'll be right back after this from Lingerfield Drug Center on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Very simple. It happens every day. Tell us how we can do it.
Yeah, all you got to do is give us a call. We brought 2 yesterday, actually, but you just give us your name and your birthday and tell us where your prescriptions are at right now, and we'll call that pharmacy, get everything brought over. A lot of times people are nervous about moving because they're afraid something doesn't have refills or something can't be transferred. And when that's the case, we'll call those doctors, get you new prescriptions, and take care of everything, really. It's like the people, one of them we had transferred yesterday, said they'd been trying for about 3 days to get medicine refilled and just wasn't happening, and was frustrated and asked if we could do better, and called, got everything transferred. Took maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and we had to call the doctor on one, which waiting on doctors can sometimes be a little time-consuming, but they got that called in, and by the afternoon we had everything ready for her.
There you go, folks. So, it's just that easy. If you're not happy where you're getting your prescriptions filled, come to the Lingerfield Drug Center. The phone number to call and talk to you about it is?
It's 423-542-2138.
There you go. One of our great sponsors right here of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Get your prescription changed to a mom-and-pop pharmacy that still cares about their people and still wants to give you 100% customer satisfaction. It's right here at Lingerfield Drug Center beside Carter County Bank in downtown Elizabethton. Proud sponsor of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. It's an exciting Milligan University basketball doubleheader. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting you to join me this Wednesday from Steve Lacey Fieldhouse as the Milligan University Buffs play host to the Monterey Cavaliers out of North Carolina in a basketball doubleheader. Lady Buffs will get it started at 5:15 with the men to follow, audio and video. Milligan hosting Monterey in a key AAC matchup. It all starts at 5:15 this Wednesday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Milligan University Buffalo basketball. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, that's us, show number 2435. But let's get down and put him on the screen because he's Andrew Smith. Let me find it here real quick. Do your bones feel snow?
Not really, but give it another day or two when it gets closer, I might.
Yeah. They're calling for, 1 to 3 inches. But see, problem with that is they missed it so badly this last go-around. I've been reading Facebook's like, yeah, okay, I'll believe it when I'm shoveling. So we'll see. But whatever we get this weekend, the temperature is going to stay with this Arctic second blast coming through. The high Sunday's 24, and the low Sunday night's down around 6. So whatever we get over the weekend ain't going to melt. So it's in. So, and anyway, Coach Shipley said they're digging out in the middle of the state. I read the story before you got here, some of the low temperatures on Monday morning. San Antonio, Texas, 19 degrees. Tulsa, Oklahoma was 0. And so these places aren't ready. They're not equipped to deal with snow and cold weather. Springfield, Missouri, minus 11. So, I know back up home it got down, I think it's 7 below this morning up where I'm from in West Virginia. So that's the air temperature. They didn't count the wind. So it's here. Think spring. Spring training starts within 2 weeks. Major League Baseball. So that's what I'm looking at.
Yes.
Think spring. And so if somebody comes up to me this summer when it's 95 degrees and the wind and the humidity is 95%, and they start yapping about the way I'm going to throw punch them. It's like, really? Because this is cold, and it's February is usually our coldest month anyways. We got that to go through, but take heart. It's on the other side, folks. Spring's closer than it was yesterday. That's the way I look at it. So during the break, our ace reporter, Andrew Smith, is reporting that the Cleveland Browns have, in fact, got a new coach. Who was it?
It was Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens the past few years. There was talk that he might follow John Harbaugh of the Giants, but he ends up getting a head coaching offer and decides to take it, and he'll stay in the AFC North with the Browns.
So the Browns have their coach now, Todd Monken. So we're down to the Cardinals
and the Raiders.
So, which is very disturbing. I'm not surprised, but it is disturbing that nobody, because Mark Davis will open up a checkbook. If he gets the guy he wants, they'll pay them bukus of money to coach that team, try and get it turned around. But ain't no takers yet. They've been into it. Now the spin, if you read the Raiders stuff, is we're taking our time to be very deliberate. I'm thinking, no, you're not. Come on now. Don't play me for stupid. I watch and see this guy says no. This guy's interview says no. This guy says no. Back for the second interview, this guy says no. So they're down to a couple of guys, Kubiak and Davis Webb. And Kubiak is, I think there's a window. You have until Friday, once Super Bowl week kicks in, which it will. Super Bowl's a week from Sunday. Then they're off limits till after the Super Bowl, and he's on the coaching staff of the Seahawks. So unless they can nail something down to the next day or two, he's off the radar for at least a week. So anyway, the Cardinals, that's probably a work in progress too, isn't it?
Yeah. I've not seen as much from the Cardinals camp as I have from the Raiders camp. Like I said, those are the two names that I'm hearing, Kubiak and Davis Webb. I think those would be okay hires. I mean, you're getting a fresh start. You're getting an offensive mind for Fernando Mendoza. So, I think it could work, but pairing a first-time head coach with a rookie quarterback can be treacherous. Ask us as the Titans with
Cam Ward.
With Cam Ward and Brian Callahan, even going back to Will Levis and Brian Callahan.
So here's the thing with the Raiders. Geno Smith didn't get it done, but it wasn't all Geno's fault. They led the league in sacks. They have no offensive line per se. They snap. I mean, whoever's back there, even Mendoza, I don't care who it is. You can put Brady back there. If you don't have a line to guard or to block, the blocking schemes are a joke, which they were. I don't care who it is. So for as much as they want Mendoza, and they're going to get him, but they best in the draft. I'm talking about the Raiders. And most of you out there could care less, but I'm a Raiders guy. So you got to put up with it. Let me just get my 30 seconds in, we'll move on. Unless they get some guys up front and can block, I don't care who they get for quarterback. I don't care. They got a pretty good running back there, Janty. But he struggled this year, averaged 3 yards a carry. You know why? Because as soon as he got the ball, they were in his face and his grill because there's no blocking up front. So they can go on about who they're going to get all they want to. And I'm all for getting Mendoza. I hope they're not stupid enough to go in a different direction because he's the guy you want to get. But you got to get some guys up front that can block for him. So, and you got to get a coach. And, and here's the thing. The draft's, in April?
Yeah.
So what is this? 90 days out from a draft, so you got to get a coaching staff in place. You got to sit down and evaluate your talent. You got to start sitting down in the boardroom and go, okay, who we going to go draft? We got this pick. So it's more than this go. Let's name a head coach and get ready to play. There's a lot of things to make it go. Then you got to sit down with your general manager and make sure it clicks on that side too. So there's lots and lots of moving parts when you name a new coach. You just don't name a new coach. You got to name the guys and the support staff, and he's going to bring in his assistants in, and you got to pay them big bucks because he's going to say, I don't want Tom Taylor, I want Andrew Smith. Andrew and I coached together back in the day, so we're going to get Andrew. And it becomes a carousel because when he leaves wherever he's at, then somebody's going to fill that void. So you know how it works. But so Cardinals and the Raiders, the two teams left to pick a head coach. So your Titans have the new coach. Are you sold on this guy? What's your take on him?
I'm excited. The biggest thing for me was the offensive coordinator hire. I like Robert Saleh. I like the defenses he had, both as a coordinator in San Francisco and the head coach at the Jets. But the question was always going to be who you bring in as the OC. And they get Brian Daboll. And I'm I'm high on this hire. I really like this move a lot. I think he's a better coordinator than he was a head coach. He had some moments there with the Giants, but if you look at his time with the Bills as the offensive coordinator, that was his last OC stop. The biggest growth of Josh Allen's career came with Dable as the as the offensive coordinator. Pardon me. So, it gives me a lot of excitement. Things are kind of looking up a little bit for the Titans. You've got a coordinator staff because Robert Saleh's the head coach, but he's going to effectively be your defensive coordinator here too, right? You've got Brian Daboll, and you've kept the special teams coordinator, Bones Fossil. All three of them are experienced coordinators that know what they're doing, can put together staffs for their sides of the football, really kind of build this team well. You've got a high draft pick. You've got over $100 million in cap space. You've got a quarterback you feel confident in. Things could get turned around in the next year or two, it looks like. I'm not going to say they're going to be the Patriots next year and, go from 3-4 wins to the Super Bowl. I'm not insane. I'm optimistic, but I'm not insane. But, see them make a jump to maybe close to 500 next year would be really nice. Obviously, a lot of that will depend on how they navigate free agency and trades and the draft. But, there's reason for optimism in Tennessee. And it's been a few years since we could truly say that.
We're here live again at Chick-fil-A. Coming up, bottom of the hour, going to be joined by his cohort, Jeff Birchfield, talking NASCAR. Going to race this weekend. The temperature in Winston-Salem on Sunday's 27 in the daytime. Nighttime is going to be down around 12. So you're talking probably mid-20s to race on Sunday for the Clash, unless they cancel it, unless snow gets them. But that's the take, and so we'll get the very latest from Birchfield about NASCAR, what's going on there. The Braves spring training starts in a couple of weeks. Are you fired up about your team this year?
I need to see them add another starter, and then I'll be all signs a go. The Ha-Seong Kim injury put a damper on things. Really did. The shortstop position for the first little bit of the year is not what you thought it would be, and that's not great. But you should have a healthy Ronald Acuna back. That's reason for excitement. Matt Olson has been extremely steady the past year or two. Ever since he's got to Atlanta, really. He's been pretty consistent. You know what you're going to get out of him. You've got Drake Baldwin, who I like a lot, won Rookie of the Year. Just really good catcher. But, you kind of look elsewhere. Hey, can we get a bounce-back season from an Austin Riley? What are we going to get out of Michael Harris? What are we going to get out of Ozzie Albies from that lineup? I think they'll be good. I think they'll be better than they were last year. But in order for me to be all in on this year, I would like to see them get just one more arm. I'm not asking for a ton. There's still a good arms out there. Whether you want to go top end of the rotation with a guy like Framber Valdez, or somebody more for the middle of the rotation, plenty of those kind of guys out there too. I think you got to get somebody.
I'm hearing Chris Bassett's what I'm hearing. So
I would be okay with Chris Bassett. Very solid, steady, number 2, number 3 kind of guy. He's not going to blow you away with stuff, but he's an innings eater. Very solid, reliable arm in the rotation, and I think that would be good for this staff.
Sean Murphy's still hurt. How big a deal is that? You got Baldwin you're hanging because he's not back from the surgery he's had. I think you're wanting him back by mid-May. So is that a big hole to fill, Murphy behind the plate?
Not really, because you've got Drake Baldwin.
Okay.
Now, you are a better team when Sean Murphy is healthy, but, you can platoon DH some guys or, give Murphy a day by DHing or whatever. You can make it work with no Sean Murphy for the first few weeks of the year, but you are a better team with Sean Murphy.
It is a good time in sports. It's busy. Tennessee plays tonight. They moved the game from last night to tonight. So Tennessee men's team is in Athens to battle the Georgia Bulldogs. Lady Vols play, let me think when they play again.
I think tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night. They play Mississippi State tomorrow night. So I think in Starkville. So if I'm not mistaken, I don't have it in front of me, but I know they play tomorrow night. And tomorrow we'll be at Poor Traps talking steamed sandwiches. Friday we'll kick off the weekend at Food City in Gray. So you're a week out. We'll probably get you on the show next week, but your first blush more than a week away from the Super Bowl. Seahawks or Patriots? Who do you like and why?
Right now, I'm leaning Seattle. I like what they did. You know, I thought their biggest test was going to be that Rams game in the NFC Championship, and they passed. You know, I think that how will Drake May respond to being in such a big situation? I guess the same question could be asked for Sam Darnold, but Darnold, while not having been a starting quarterback in the Super Bowl, has been around the league for a long time. Kind of still has you're not as concerned about that. Drake May's only in year 2, so I think it'll be more of a defensive kind of game. So the feel I'm getting for it early, but I do think I like at this point in time I think I like Seattle over a week out from the game.
All right. We go back to the games, in particular the Denver game. I always talk about special teams. Muff punt, 2 missed field goals by Lutz.
And I think the one that even loomed larger wasn't even either of Lutz's misses. It was the attempt they didn't give him in the first half.
That's a good point.
4th and 1 in the red zone. Sean Payton wants to be aggressive and go for it. They're already up 7-0. My mind says I get the aggressiveness. For me, if it's in the first half, I'm almost always taking the points unless I'm down 21-0 early. I'm taking the points in the first half 99 times out of 100.
Yep.
Second half, you can convince me to be more aggressive. You know that there's only going to be so many possessions left in a ball game. But, yeah, I didn't necessarily get it then. I definitely didn't get it after the play call that they ran that didn't get the first down. I think that ultimately loomed larger than either of his misses did.
There you go. And he also said yesterday that when it started snowing, they lost track where they were on the field, and so they actually probably set the tee up and probably a yard closer to the line of scrimmage, enabling Taylor, good name, to come in and block the field goal attempt. So that, there again, it was beautiful. We sat right here last week, and I checked the weather. Denver said Denver's going to be mild in the 40s, which it was in the first half. It's almost like a summertime day in Denver compared to what it usually is. And then you flip the switch and it's pouring down the snow in the second half. It became to the point you couldn't even see the yard markers. So, and Will Lutz said, hey, look, I'm not making excuses, but I think we set the thing up a little closer than normal. We didn't know where we were on the field because we couldn't see the yard markers as they were covered in snow. Field goal gets blocked, but you're probably right, too, that what they should have done, and they didn't do. Look, we're in the AFC Championship. I want points. I don't care what in the NFC Championship. I want points. So Josh Dobbs going to win it for the Patriots, Gary Taylor says. Maybe. So, all right, in closing, I'll let you go get something to eat. What would stop, and we say this goofily and tongue-in-cheek, but what would stop Josh Dobbs to come back and play it again?
I think it was because he used all 4 years of his eligibility.
I'm not even sure that matters anymore if you have the right attorney.
He never went to JUCO. He never these are the exceptions that we're kind of seeing right now.
I know.
Hey, you were in JUCO. Hey, you didn't use all 4 years.
I know.
So I think that ultimately, and plus, he's getting paid pretty well to be a backup quarterback right now for Mike Vrabel's Patriots. So.
What about Hooker? Hooker's been bounced around. But I'm just using any of these guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I think the biggest thing is did they use all 4 years of their of their traditional eligibility with no JUCO ball, none of that, and neither Dobbs nor Hendon did that.
Don't be surprised if all that goes out the window. So, in fact, I read the other day over the weekend they're trying to come up with just a blanket where we'll give you 5 years to get 4 years in. So, and I'm okay with that, I think. I'm not sure what I'm okay with anymore. I just don't like the thing in Alabama. I think it just stinks. It smells, and that's just me. I just think it's going to ruin the sport, ruin college athletics because it's, well, we've addressed that earlier in the segment. So, anyway, get you some lunch. Do you like floats? You like those Coke floats, root beer floats?
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Root beer float, or a Coke float, or a High C float, or a Dr. Pepper float, or a Coke Zero. I'm looking at them down there. Sprite. What's on the end? Dr. Pepper, Barks root beer. Root beer, a swirled root beer float. Really good. Andrew Smith, I guess most of the basketball games are have been shelved. I know we play tomorrow night at East, audio only tomorrow night. We've got the Cyclones and the Patriots tomorrow night. Friday night, in theory, we're going to be at Crockett, although it's supposed to, what'd you say, it's supposed to start snowing Friday afternoon?
Yeah, sometime Friday afternoon is what it's looking like.
So I'm not sure if one wants to be out in Crockett and Jonesboro coming up out of there if it's snowing, because that's kind of a, but we'll see. That's 2 days out, but we got something coming in this weekend. Looks like they're saying I love it, the computer models. That's the magic word now, meteorology. The computer models. I don't know what that means, but so for all the technology we have, it's interesting. We can't get it right, but it's easy for me to sit here and so Tom, you try it. Well, I do try it, and I do know, in defense of the meteorologists here locally, they're forecasting from Mountain City down to Morristown, in essence, or even here, Tri-Cities. You start here and go to Mountain City, I mean, it's almost straight up. So what they're getting is we don't get, and vice versa. So it's easy to throw off on them, but it's not an easy job to do. So, but they are saying something's coming this weekend. We do know the temperatures has nothing to do with the meteorologist. It has to do with God. He says we're going to make it 20s for your highs and single digits for your lows on Sunday night. So whatever we get Friday and Saturday ain't going anywhere for a while. So there you go. We done? We covered everything? You feel good?
I think we've touched about everything.
New Browns coach is?
Todd Monken.
Todd Monken. So do the Raiders have a coach? No. Do the Cardinals have a coach? No. The Cardinals, talent-wise, they're not much, I don't think. You tell me if I'm wrong. Talent-wise, they're down there on the spot, not two, maybe a notch above the Raiders, but not much.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair assessment.
There you go. All right. Enjoy your lunch, sir. See you next week.
Good Lord willing.
He's a fine lad. We like him being on here. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We've got more. Jeff Birchfield coming, talking NASCAR at the bottom of the hour on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Senator Creighton, you're one of our great sponsors. Christmas Club savings account for next year. Tell me about it.
Yes, let's talk about it because now you're going to have 12 months to do this. What better time than right now to open your Christmas Club savings? There's no cost on this. This is just something that we can help you transfer automatic funds, either weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, out of your check. So that way you won't even have to worry about it. And each time that you have that transferred, either you can do it yourself or deposit into this account, or we can have automatic draft set up. That's just convenient for you. And like I said, it's just another sub account to your savings and checking at Northeast Community Credit Union. So if you have any questions, visit bemycu.org or come in and see us at one of our convenient locations or call 423-547-1200.
And you cut checks when? Next year? October, November? So when you get your checks?
Yes.
Save it up all year?
Yeah, so direct deposit could be your monthly paycheck.
Okay.
And so you can allocate a percentage of that paycheck into the Christmas Club. And that way, when you get to October, November, it's going to be built up. And so it's a great feature, and people love it.
The Christmas Club savings account for Christmas 2024?
Yes.
From Northeast Community Credit Union, one of our great sponsors of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. Therapy Services, great sponsor of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Why Physical Therapy Services? A lot of folks out there that do what you do. Why PTS?
Nobody does it the way that we do it. There are other people out there that say that they are, and I want to air quote, sports PTs. There's no one out there that is truly a sports physical therapy clinic. We've been in business since 1980, and we continue to be in business after people have been bought and sold, folded. The reason why we continue to stay in business is twofold. Number one, we're a little crazy, which is fun. But number two, and the most important thing, is we always take care of the patient first. You take care of the patient first. This is what my dad always taught me. You take care of the patient first, everything else will fall into place.
Locations? Where do you have locations?
1975 West Elk Avenue. That's where my clinic is, where I work primarily. And then we have a pediatric location as well at the Medical Care Building at 1500 West Elk Avenue.
Physical Therapy Services. Last question real quick. What's the phone number?
423-543-0073.
Physical Therapy Services, proud sponsor of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. It's an exciting Milligan University basketball doubleheader. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting you to join me this Wednesday from Steve Lacey Fieldhouse as the Milligan University Buffs play host to the Monterey Cavaliers out of North Carolina in a basketball doubleheader. Lady Buffs will get it started at 5:15 with the men to follow, audio and video. Milligan hosting Monterey in a key AAC matchup. It all starts at 5:15 this Wednesday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Milligan University Buffalo basketball. And back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we are live here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Lunch is being served. It's busy. We like that. All right, some baseball news. We got Jeff Birchfield coming up. It's going to be cold in Winston-Salem this weekend. I don't know. Of course, they're not that far away from us. If they get snow, I'm sure they're going to shut it down. But bye. Take care. Keep smiling. Bloom where you're planted. Bloom where you're planted, Mama used to say. Bloom where you're planted. She tells that every day. You ain't changed a lick. No, that's a good thing. Don't change. Major League Baseball. So, Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa will not play in this year's World Baseball Classic because they're unable to get insurance on the contracts. Now, I get this. Without insurance, two players would risk forfeiting their salaries for any regular season games missed as a result of an injury suffered during the tournament. Altuve last year, he has a $30 million salary coming up. He missed 43 games last year. I'm sorry, in 2023, rather, after getting hit by a pitch during the World Baseball Classic and suffered a fractured thumb. He had to have surgery, missed 43 games with the Astros, which is, out of 162, that's a pretty good chunk. So these two guys are not going to play because they don't have contracts. If they get hurt, they can get paid regardless, which I totally understand. I don't know. I don't get why they let them play anyway. I understand the World Baseball Classic, and I understand the pride to play for your country. But you're in a contract on my ball club to win a World Series and to win a World Championship. And you're out here risking it. Hello, Patsy Lyons. How you doing, lady? And you're risking it by playing in the World Baseball Classic. I totally understand why the owners would not want them to play. And I understand why the players want to be insured in case they get hurt. But again, it's like I'm working for Chick-fil-A here on Wednesdays, but I'm going to go over here and work across the street at Wendy's. No. Tim Birchfield says, you're working for me, and so you're not going to work for Wendy's. And I get that. So these guys are contractually and getting paid big bucks. As I said, Altuve's going to get $30 million this year. Astros don't want him hurt. Insurance company said, we're not going to cover you in case you get hurt. You need to just stay put. And I totally get that. I mean, and if they get hurt and miss 43 games as Altuve did back in 2023, they had to scramble and, find people to cover his spot, change the dynamics and the chemistry of that baseball team. I totally get it. All right. Diego Pavia says he's going to put on a show this weekend. The Senior Bowl coming up on Saturday at 2:30 in Mobile, Alabama. Don't know what's going to be weather-wise. Mobile, can't imagine it's going to be warm there either. It's going to not really be warm anywhere in the country, I don't think. So he says, I'm going to put on a show in the Senior Bowl. His chance of being drafted in the NFL have been viewed with skepticism. It's too small. In fact, now they're saying that somebody's not being upfront about how his height. He's not as tall as he's telling everybody. Nor was Doug Flutie. I'm not sure. Well, I do get it, too, because these quarterbacks trying to throw over guys 6'6", 6'7" up front, and I get that. But what's that old saying? You don't judge a man by the size of the heart. I'm not going to say it right, but my point is tenacity. So, and I think Diego Pavia has proven he's a pretty good quarterback because he played in the SEC, which is a pretty good football conference, to say the least. So, anyway, he says, I'm going to 5'8" is what they're saying. He says, I'm 5'10", I promise. But still, 5'10", trying to be a quarterback in the NFL at 5'10". We'll see. Anyway, he says, the point of all this is he's going to shore up his stock tonight. Not tonight, shore up his stock on Saturday in the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. It's going to prove people that he's worth taking a chance on. National Hockey League last night. Hello, Baker. How you doing? Yep, T. Duggar. They got games tonight and tomorrow. I'm sorry. Both girls and guys are tonight. Love to be there, but we are going to be at Milligan streaming the Milligan Buffs and the Montreat Cavaliers. Tomorrow night we'll be at East audio only for the doubleheader tomorrow night for Cyclone basketball against Sullivan East. All right, last night on the ice, Nashville losing overtime. Boston in Beantown. Skates past them 3-2. Other winners are the Kings, Utah, Montreal, Winnipeg, Buffalo, Minnesota, Dallas, Seattle, and the San Jose Sharks all get wins last night. On the ice tonight, I'm getting kind of interested in hockey. And I think, in fact, I got my buddy Brandon's going to take me to a hockey match. I'm not even sure what you call it. He went to the Ice Bears and said that was pretty cool down in Knoxville, which I've never been to. He says, I'm going to take you to Raleigh to a Carolina Hurricane hockey match or hockey game, whatever it is. Okay, I've never been to one. So that's on my bucket list to go to is a National Hockey League match game. And so I'm going to do that. So, Ugg, worst attitude. Yeah, he is. He's cocky. Talking about Pavia. So, I would, typically, here's how this works. I can tell you this from experience. It didn't happen to me, but I had guys on my team. When you're cocky and arrogant and flamboyant, whatever the adjective, the other team knows that, and sooner or later you will get your comeuppance. I promise you. I've seen it all my life in sports. I had a guy on our team that really thought he was a cat's meow, and he got hammered. These guys took exception to that when we played them in high school, and he got clobbered. And he would run his mouth how good he's going to be, and in fact, he's passed away, come to think of it. But he would tell everybody how good he was, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and the other team go, okay. This is in middle school. This is in junior high and high school. And they stuffed him back then and shut him down. So at some point, Pavia will get his, I guess. But, I mean, the guy did what he did. He rejuvenated, I guess, the Vanderbilt program to a point. It's not just him, but as many times he put that team on his back and carried him. But at 5'10", going to the NFL, I don't see it. Because, again, as a quarterback, you see it in high school, let alone college, although he did pretty good in the SEC for Vanderbilt. But at 5'10", and you're in behind linemen that are 6'5", 6'6", in fact, that's small, 6'7", 6'8", biggins. You're trying to see over him. Now, you can roll out, but you can only roll out so much. Sometimes you just be a pocket passer, and you can't see over him. Then at 5'10", look at RG3. I mean, he took a pounding when he got to the NFL. Incredible athlete, but just wasn't big enough. I think Diego is the same situation, but he really kind of cooked his goose the way he handled the Heisman, I thought. I mean, he just didn't handle that right. So, but anyway, we'll see. He said he's going to put on a show this weekend, the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl folks are loving this because most folks, I won't, but most folks will tune in to see if, in fact, he's going to put on a show, which is what they want. I would not think it's a ratings bonanza, the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama on Saturday afternoon, but up against some great college basketball games. But if you're a football junkie, guess you'd be watching it, but we'll see. All right, on the ice tonight, the Islanders hosting the Rangers in the Battle of New York. Philadelphia skates at Columbus, and Ottawa home to the Colorado Avalanche, the number one team in the National Hockey League. So I'm going to take him up on it. I'm going to go watch Carolina play. I've never been to a hockey match or a hockey game, so I want to see what it's all about. And he says it's incredibly cool, so I don't know. So, and I've heard about the Predators too. So, but we'll see. All right, we are here live again at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Tomorrow night we've got Cyclone basketball, audio only at East tomorrow night. The makeup from Tuesday night's game that was canceled because of the weather. Tonight it's T.A. Duggars got their tournament games tonight at Sevier Middle School in Kingsport. Marty does a good job of there running that tournament. So I would think, this is me, I would think that it should be rotated so these other schools can benefit financially from the middle school tournament going forward. I think that's what they're talking about doing, to rotate it. What I thought was pretty cool is in Elizabethton, Joe Diaz at the high school said, if you all get the tournament, we'll put it on at the high school, which is a really good venue for basketball. Level parking lot. No, not a bad seat in the house at John Treadway. You know, here's the thing, too, in the wintertime, just like now, with icy roads and sidewalks, steps. You have senior folks that are a little leery about going to a ball game, they have to go up and down steps, and I totally get that. I understand it. But you walk into John Treadway, you walk in off the street, it's level. There's no steps except going up in the bleachers. So, but there's no steps in the parking lot. That's a big deal, and the parking lot's well lit. So anyway, there is talk and discussion of rotating the middle school tournaments. It's always been at Sevier Middle School, which is okay, but I think these other schools would like to have a hand in making some money off the tournament too. And I understand that. It's a moneymaker. I mean, they'll have a big crowd there tonight. So, be a big crowd tonight at Steve Lacey. The Lady Buffs are rocking it, tied for first in the league. The men have jumped by their win the other night, jumped up 3 or 4 spots in the standings, so both are playing well. And this is when you want to be playing well, heading down the stretch. The tournament's coming up in about 3 weeks. So this is what you want. And so we'll have the double dip starting at 5:15 tonight right here. Audio and video, Milligan University basketball.
It's an exciting Milligan University basketball doubleheader. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting you to join me this Wednesday from Steve Lacey Fieldhouse as the Milligan University Buffs play host to the Monterey Cavaliers out of North Carolina in a basketball doubleheader. Lady Buffs will get it started at 5:15 with the men to follow, audio and video. Milligan hosting Monterey in a key AAC matchup. It all starts at 5:15 this Wednesday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Milligan University Buffalo basketball.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again, we will be joined by Jeff Birchfield coming up in a few minutes. Now there's a basketball tournament coming up in Elizabethton. It's the 9th annual Betsy Basketball Classic. There it is. If you'd like to be a part of that, coming up in February on the 21st and 22nd. Rusty Chambers, your contact at 741-0020. TSSAA officials awards the first place and runner-up. Good. Not everybody deserves a trophy. I like that. I've seen these tournaments where they have 8 teams, everybody gets a trophy. Are you kidding me? That ain't life. Not everybody gets a trophy in life. So, but first and second, I think it's cool. $200 entry fee. Multi-team discounts. Again, if you're interested, call Rusty at 741-0020. Get your name in the hat, get your team signed up, ready to go. I know saw him last week. He had 20, 25 teams already, so it's going to be a big deal. That's good. Good stuff. All right, here's a new auction. Collins and Company on Valentine's Day. Bristol Caverns Highway, a live public auction event. Over an acre with a 1,300 square foot single family home. 3-bedroom, 1-bath cottage style. Here it is. There's a picture of it. Go to the website. It'll do you a better picture at collinsandcompany.info to bid on that. So that's coming up on February the 14th. Let's see. He had another. We got to get this other auction going on. Oh, yeah, here it is right here. Started Monday, goes to February the 10th. collinsandcompany.info. If you're looking for lawn and garden equipment, outdoor living, power tools, you've got recliners, queen platform beds, televisions, home appliances, multiple toolboxes. You got Black & Decker bench grinder, Cobalt wet tile saw, Cobalt compound miter saw, a patio gazebo, small patio furniture, all this to be auctioned off starting at $1 a bid. It's out there right now at collinsandcompany.info. There you go. So, Craftsman riding mower, a Craftsman gas-powered weed eater. It's all up for bid on the auctioning it off. A 6-foot fiberglass ladders. Neat stuff. It's a household liquidation online auction event now through February the 10th. And just go to the website, collinsandcompany.info, and bid on your heart's delight, because that's what's out there right now until February the 10th. There he is right there. My man's in the house, Jeff Birchfield. We're going to talk NASCAR coming up next, among other things. Get his take on my man in Alabama, what he thinks about what's going on down there with my man going to be able to play. We'll take a break. Birchfield's here. He's getting settled in. Man's got short sleeve shirt on. At least he doesn't have shorts on. Sometimes comes here in the dead of winter and shorts on. He ain't right. He joins us next on Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Hey there, neighbors. Todd Houston here with the Elizabethton Church of Christ, wishing you a very happy new year and a wildly successful 2026. I'd like to invite you to come and get to know our family here at Elizabethton as we are seeking to be more like our Lord every day. We're no perfect people, but we're a people that love the Lord and love you. We'd love to get to know you. If you'd like to join us, our times are at 10 and 11 a.m. on Sunday, 6:30 p.m., and then again Wednesday evening at 7. You can find us on Facebook or at elizabettoncoc.org.
The Eagle Center, downtown Elizabethton, great antique store. Why come shop at the Eagle Center?
We just have so many unique things that tell a story, that add character to your home and conversation, and there's something new to look at every single day. Every time you come in, you won't see the same thing twice, and it's just a good place to shop for those unique gifts.
What's the saying you always use, the cliche?
Things tell a story when people no longer can.
That's it.
We have a building full of things that are just dying to tell stories.
Absolutely. 2 floors, over 50 vendors. Hours are open.
We're open 10 to 5, Monday through Saturday.
Closed on Sundays for the Lord's Day.
That's right.
And you have gift cards too, right?
We have gift cards available.
Yep. The Eagle Center, downtown Elizabeth, one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. Be loyal, buy local, and shop at the Eagle Center in downtown Elizabethton.
Thank you, Tom.
It's an exciting Milligan University basketball doubleheader. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting you to join me this Wednesday from Steve Lacey Fieldhouse as the Milligan University Buffs play host to the Monterey Cavaliers out of North Carolina in a basketball doubleheader. Lady Buffs will get it started at 5:15 with the men to follow, audio and video. Milligan hosting Monterey in a key AAC matchup. It all starts at 5:15 this Wednesday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Milligan University Buffalo basketball.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, he's here. The man's in the house, Jeff Birchwood. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Tom.
You can't possibly be warm sitting there with the short sleeve shirt on like it's July.
Nice and comfortable here inside Chick-fil-A. They make it nice on everyone.
He's nuts. I love him, but he's nuts. He normally comes in shorts. At least you got long bridges on. So, all right, so we're racing this weekend in Winston-Salem at Bowman Gray, the Clash. Daytime temperatures 27 is going to be down. I think it's probably low 20s, upper teens to race. What, as a fan that doesn't know a whole lot about it, how does that impact the car, the drivers, the crew? I mean, as opposed to, Daytona in July when it's 100 degrees and it's boiling hot inside the car. Do cars, I know this is going to be a dumb question, do cars react differently in cold weather? I know the setup's different, but how does the car and the driver differ in cold versus hot?
Yeah, I mean, the tires to the track, one thing, as far as adhesion, you'd have like in warm weather there in, July in Daytona. Also, you'd have you know, there's a possibility of some electrical problems. You know how your battery runs down like in a car, you know, whenever it is this super cold weather like this. And then thing is, they worry about like condensation forming, you know, and then water's always a bad thing for, you know, the internal components of a car.
That's why I asked him. I never would have thought of that. The moisture, condensation, and cold weather builds up inside the car, right? Inside the engine?
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, you get a little bit of that. And also, that's, you know, the thing. But, you know, I mean, these teams, I don't expect those teams to have any problems. So it's like a 200-lap race, and I think there's a halfway point break. So I think they'll be fine, you know, as far as any type of major, you know, issues happening.
Ticket sales pretty good?
What's that?
Ticket sales pretty good for it?
Yeah, as far as I know and stuff, but I don't know how many people are going to be that excited to be sitting out there, like you said, in 17-degree weather and all this weekend. I've got this crazy idea of how they could maybe fix this. NASCAR's done a good job lately of actually listening to the fans and making a few changes, like earlier this week, you know, or late last week with the Roval, you know, there at Charlotte. Where they're going to go back to the oval in October. But, you know, you could have a deal where you go to Daytona and have like a whole thing called Speed Weeks, and you could have the Clash and then qualifying and then the qualifying races and then the Daytona 500. What a crazy idea that is.
Yeah, it is crazy. I don't know where you came up with that at, but I'm looking at the Winston-Salem weather. Sun, a few passing clouds, high of 27, winds 10 to 20 on Sunday day. Sunday night, clear, low 14, winds 5 to 10. So snow's going to be, I'm looking to see if it's going to be snowing. They're not going to get any snow, but it's going to be bitterly cold. I don't know what fans, particularly it's going to be televised. I'd sit at home in the comfort of my home and watch it, but there are diehard fans. We saw that at Bristol back in the day when there used to snow up there in April and March. So anyway, you start the new season. What are some of the storylines of the new season for NASCAR?
Well, I think one of the big ones, obviously, Denny Hamlin, after coming so close, you know, last year to the championship, and can he finally get it done, you know, this year and all. And then I think Kyle Larson's chance for a third championship. Joey Logano, can Team Penske sort of rebound after they missed that final race last year? Obviously, the big change is with the format, where they're going back to the 10-race chase, you know, and also, you know, you're not going to have those elimination races like you had before. So, you know, will that benefit, you know, one of the certain teams or organizations, you know, and Trackhouse racing, how are they going to bounce back? Maybe Ross Chastain. When they first had the new car, they were pretty equal footing. Then the three big teams sort of, you know, moved past everybody else. And then Connor Zilisch, the rookie coming in, you know, a lot of hype on him. So just a lot of great storylines going into the season.
Let's come back to the new format. I mean, it's a big deal to crown the champion. They've tweaked it. They've gone back to the previous formula, have they not?
Yeah. So it's more, you know, going to be based on the consistency over the 10 races now, and also, you know, you're not going to have that win and you're in elimination type deal that you had. You know, I mean, there's good and bad with both, you know, systems. I mean, everything in life, you know, it's like, you know, there'll be some good point to it. There'll be some, you know, negative point. So, I mean, you're not going to have like going into Martinsville, that final race with the cutoff race, and then everybody's going to be, you know, going there and, you know, trying to, you know, do that. But then again, a place like Bristol, maybe it makes the racing better, because guys who were like the first round of the cutoff and running sixth place, they don't want to take a chance trying to move up to fifth place, where maybe now this gives them more of an incentive.
So you get to the end of the regular season, and you get the drivers, what would it be, 12 drivers?
16 drivers.
16 drivers, all right. And you start a 10-race format then to crown the champion, correct?
Yeah.
So you could stink it up the first two races and still come back and do okay and end up winning the championship? Is that how we're looking at it?
Well, it could. I mean, if a good example of that was Tony Stewart back in 2011, didn't have a very good regular season at all. He gets in the chase, he catches fire, and I think he wins like 5 races and wins the championship, you know. And actually, you know, he's famously said after Dover, we're done. You know, we don't have a chance of winning. And then he comes back and wins, beats Carl Edwards there in like the closest finish in NASCAR history.
I think Denny Hamlin will be extra jacked up to dedicate this season to his father who passed away. He has said his daddy, spent money and hours and time to get him where, a lot of sacrificial love to get him into racing. I just think he'll use that as an extra incentive, if possible, to go out and win one for his dad, who never got a chance. Never got a chance to see him win a championship. I just think it'll be it's an extra incentive for Denny Hamlin to do that. So, can he pull it off? I don't know, but I think it'll be extra incentive for him to do that. Joe Gibbs Racing celebrating 35 years in the sport. They got a pretty good shot of winning a championship, one of those drivers, don't they?
Yeah, besides Denny, obviously, Chase Briscoe also made the Final Four last year, but probably the guy besides Denny who I feel like has the best shot is probably Christopher Bell. He's obviously one of the top drivers in the sport. If you remember early last season, he had that streak where he won 3 races in a row. Very, very talented driver. Still pretty surprising that Ty Gibbs is yet to win at the Cup Series. I mean, he had so much success at the Xfinity, which is now the O'Reilly Series. And, Ty Gibbs is run up front, particularly at Bristol. He's run very well, but he's still yet to break through there.
What about my guy?
Kyle Busch. Well, I mean, it's going to be a big year for him and Richard Childress Racing, see if they can bounce back, because, face it, they weren't very good last year. Other than Austin Dillon, and that team's obviously figured out something at Richmond where they run well there. But, yeah, Kyle Busch, I think it is a critical year for him to try to bounce back to some degree.
Is Kyle Larson the real deal? Is that a really dumb question?
Oh, I mean, he's terrific. I mean, during the off season here, he went over to Australia and New Zealand and won like a big $100,000 race over there in those, sprint cars. He was leading at the Chili Bowl, and then early in the race, and then like in the feature, he got caught up in a wreck and flipped and all that. But I mean, he's won that with the midget cars. The only thing he's struggled in really has been the Indy cars. But I'd like to see him give Indy one more shot, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It's so hard to do that just one off like that. You've really got to be dedicated, more than just a few weeks to really have success at that level.
So who besides Busch is going to have a big question mark year? I'm going to throw out some names and see. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think the expectations are that great on that team because it is a single car team. So, but Ricky's very good on those. We used to call them restrictor plate tracks, but the drafting tracks, and I think he's always got a shot at Daytona and Talladega.
Chris Buescher.
Chris Buescher, that to me, he's maybe the most talented guy as far as a guy being a better driver than the equipment he's in. Well, you can make the argument, obviously, same with Kyle Busch, but, I don't know if Kyle's, I don't know if he has the hunger maybe he did, 5-10 years ago, but I think if you could put Chris Buescher in a Penske car or a, Joe Gibbs Racing or Hendrick, I think he would do really terrific.
Richard Childress' grandsons.
Well, Ty Dillon, I don't know. It's probably going to be a tough year for him. Austin, Austin won at Richmond the last 2 years. He's won races at Richmond, but otherwise he's really not performed very well. It is probably, time for him to start easing out as a driver, because he's supposedly going to be taking more of a leadership role, in the organization.
Who are some of the up-and-comers to be watching for?
Well, obviously, Connor Zilic is going to be the big one this year with the rookie. And then we've talked about him a lot before, Corey Heim, who raced trucks last year. This year, he's going to have a really different schedule than most drivers has. He's going to race some Cup, some Xfinity, and I think Xfinity, I still calling it that, O'Reilly Series, and maybe some trucks as well. So it's going to be an interesting year for him to see what he's able to do. He's sort of Toyota's main development driver right now.
Bubba Wallace?
Bubba had a good year last year. He actually performed his teammate Tyler Reddick at a lot of races, which is a little surprising because Reddick's a very, very good driver. But Bubba, very impressive win when he was able to hold off Kyle Larson there at the Brickyard.
Austin Cindric?
Austin Cindric had a decent year last year, Of course, he's always had that thing with Penske Racing where his dad, Tim Cindric, was one of the main guys. And now that he's no longer in that role, Austin really does need to pick up the performance, even though he did win a race last year.
Michael McDowell.
Yeah, Michael, I think, does very well on the road courses. Obviously, he's a guy with Spire Motorsports. Spire's sort of a satellite team of Hendrick Motorsports, so they've got some good equipment, but they're not, quite the level of Hendrick. Sort of the same deal you was talking with Bubba and Tyler Reddick. They're a satellite team with Joe Gibbs Racing, but the difference is they get a little more support from Toyota, so they're more equal to the Gibbs team than I would say Spire is with Hendrick.
So right before Christmas, we had the trial, the charters, and NASCAR went to court with Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, so on and so forth. So it got settled. So for the race fan out there starting 2026, what does all that mean to us?
Not a whole lot. I mean, it's really more about money, sharing with the teams and NASCAR and all that. I think one good thing come out of it, we saw some of the comments from Steve Phelps, who was commissioner of the sport at that time, been NASCAR president. Some of those negative comments he had of Richard Childerson, he ended up resigning from the sport, which I think is a good thing. I mean, I know he's done a lot of good things as far as bringing some business deals in and all, but I think you need to get it back to where it's an organization run a little more by racers.
Have more, so the racers have more of a voice. What's going on?
Yeah, the racers more of a voice, and I think NASCAR's, like I said, I'm going to give NASCAR Speedway Motorsports some props here. I think the move from the Roval to the Oval, we've talked about, neither one of us are huge fans of road course racing.
No, I'm not.
And I'm glad you have a few on there to give a variety of tracks. But, I think it's good, especially with this next gen car, the way it races, on the oval, that, they're going back to the 1.5-mile track at Charlotte.
Manufacturers still, any more rumblings about Dodge coming on or anybody else?
Well, yeah, Dodge is already, going to be in the truck series with the Ram brand. So a lot of people are expecting maybe next year or two, maybe there'll be an announcement that Dodge will be back in the Cup Series, which I think is great for the sport.
So the imports, Honda, no, Mazda, no.
There's always the rumblings with Honda, Nissan, and some of them, but I really haven't heard anything, lately on that.
What about the Hall of Fame? How's the Hall of Fame going?
Well, the Hall of Fame last week was pretty cool. Actually, the story I got in tomorrow's papers, one of the Hall of Famers, all the impact he had here locally. I know Kurt Busch actually won 6 races at Bristol Motor Speedway, but I was actually writing about Harry Gant, not only what he did at Bristol. He never won a Cup Series race at Bristol. He did win, the Xfinity race, but Harry also won some big races here locally at Kingsport and Lonesome Pine back in the day of the old late model sportsman series.
He sure did. I was doing the PA the night that gave him the key to the city in Kingsport, the Skull Bandit at Kingsport Speedway. That was a pretty cool night. So he's in. Kurt Busch is in.
And Ray Hendrick. And Ray Hendrick was more Ray mainly made his name in his home state of Virginia. He raced a lot of modified races. They called him Mr. Modified. Won a lot, too, with late model sportsman series back in the day. He had the car had the number 11 and the flames on the side of it with the design. So it's always really cool, car for kids to look at and all that.
Mm-hmm. So after the Clash, which is Sunday evening in Winston-Salem, then I assume everybody heads to Florida, right?
Well, yeah, next week's the Super Bowl, so they've got a week between, and then they go, Daytona that following week. I sort of miss, though, having that whole week of stuff at Daytona, and I really wish, in a way, they could do the Clash again, early in the day before the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know about you, and I love the Super Bowl, but I don't want to watch 9 hours straight of pre-Super Bowl programming and stuff. I mean, I've always thought NASCAR and the NBA both sort of missed out on that. But just something
else on there.
That earlier in that day.
I'm going to guess at halftime of the Super Bowl, you're going to be sitting right there in the front. I understand this guy's going to wear a dress. This guy's name is Bad Bunny. The halftime, and that's what I read yesterday. He's going to sing in Spanish and wear a dress. That's what I read. I don't know whether he's just blowing smoke or he's actually going to do it. I would think the Birchfield TV will be dialed right into Bad Bunny in a dress and singing in Spanish. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, you're probably right on that. I mean, I'll probably get it. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea who Bad Bunny actually is. That's terrible.
No, I don't think most people don't. Most people don't care. they got one guy booking the talent all the time, and I'm okay with that. Except he needs to. It doesn't need to be rap and whatever you call this every year. It's Jay-Z, and I get that, but that's what you're always going to have is that. Why don't you have a rotate it? Have a country one year, have a rap guy one year, a rap lady, whatever. I'm okay, but to have the same stuff every year, that doesn't represent our country. Not everybody likes rap, not everybody likes country. Everybody likes rock and roll, but get some classic rockers in there to a halftime show.
That's the way it used to be, but
Yeah.
it has pretty much devolved into just rap and those type of acts right now.
Because that's the guy that's booking them is Jay-Z. That's what he does. That's his genre. Which, again, that's not my kind of music, but I'm okay with it on a rotating basis. But to have it every year shoved down my throat, no. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a country guy out there, as I said, or classic rock. But they don't care what I think in East Tennessee. They're going to do what they're going to do. But Bad Bunny, yeah, don't. I can pretty well tell you that this old cowboy ain't gonna be sitting watching Bad Bunny or any. Yeah. So anyway,
As far as the game itself, though, one thing I always enjoy doing this week, I've been putting together, and we run it usually Monday before the Super Bowl, is I always get the opinions of the high school coaches and get their predictions. So most of them turn their stuff in. I've still got to call up 2 or 3 more of them and try to bug them a little more to get their thoughts on it. I definitely want to get Daniel Kilgore. He's one's not responded yet. Of course, Daniel actually played in 2 Super Bowls, so that's part of 2 Super Bowl teams. So definitely want to have his thoughts on this year's game. Most of the coaches so far going with the Seahawks, and I can see why, because their defenses look phenomenal. This last part of the season.
Isn't that the old adage? Defense will win you championships.
That's what they say, but football's evolved so much. I mean, you see it, where a lot of great, offensive teams and stuff too, like Fernando Mendoza. Speaking of football, I mean, Indiana, they impressed me so much because I've never seen a team that good fundamentally. Just, they didn't make any mistakes as far as, there wasn't those Tennessee Vols shoulder hits. They go up, wrap up, run through the guy like you're supposed to, I mean, it was, they did just such a fantastic job with that. And the only real mistake in that game is when they had the 4th and 1 late in the game, and the guy then does the moves and, early, and they get the a false start. And so it almost gave Miami a chance to beat them, but, yeah.
I saw where next year they play Michigan and Ohio State back-to-back. The computers fit out the schedule for Indiana next year, and Cignetti said, well, we're ready to go.
Well, I think his biggest challenge is going to be now that they've won it, sort of the same thing that Nick Saban went through but was successful navigating, but Kirby Smart and Dabo Swinney and some of those other guys, is you start losing the assistant coaches and the coordinators. And, that's going to be the big challenge for Cignetti, because he's able to bring all those guys basically from JMU as well as a lot of his players. And, I mean, JMU obviously still a very good program, made the playoffs this year, but, just moving forward, it's going to be hard to, maintain that level of success.
What's your take on the Alabama guy getting a chance to come back and play for Alabama now after going to the NBA?
Oh, my gosh, that's just, I mean, you're talking about opening up a can of worms, I mean, that's just, then NCAA so inconsistent on things. I mean, I know ETSU, for example, they've already got, Charlie Browder. He's able to play another year, and they're working on trying to get Jacoby Criswell, who's played, a lot the end of last year, the quarterback, so, I mean, will he get, denied, or are they going to approve the waiver? You never know. And then, I mean, like I said, a guy who's played actually in the NBA G League, and they let him come back and play college basketball. So, I don't know. There just seems to be no consistency with their rules.
Your cohort was here earlier, made a great point. Andrew was here and said, the biggest one will have the impact will be baseball. You take a guy that left college and is in the minor leagues and single A, double A, triple A, ain't getting paid much, riding on a bus all the time, the travel life of a minor league player. And then to be able to come back to college and play, if he has some eligibility left, come back and play right back into the college scene again, makes perfect sense. I think it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, it's so screwed up. I was actually, last night at dinner, I was sitting there with Jamie Palmise, who plays baseball for ETSU, and we were talking about, they had all those guys after they won the Southern Conference Championship last year. you had some guys who were, transferred from the team, and then Joe Panucci, the ETSU coach, he's pointed out, when they have their reunions and stuff, he's not going to invite a lot of these guys back because where are they truly have an alma mater? If you transfer 3 or 4 schools, you really don't have that much of an emotional connection to any one particular school.
Yep. This may be one of the least watched Super Bowls in many years. That's what Jimmy says down in Atlanta. I know it'll be hard pressed me to watch the Super Bowl. I can tell you that. I like the game, but I can tell you that if I'm watching it at halftime, there's not a snowball's chance I'm gonna watch that. So,
well, I typically don't watch those halftime shows, just to be honest with you.
No.
That's usually when I go grab my pizza or whatever.
I go do something, and I don't apologize for it. I'm not interested. You put George Strait on there. Of course, Alan Jackson can't. He's out touring now because of his illness. But you put an old classic country dude in there, or lady, or an old rock and roller. And again, as I said, I can handle a rap artist every other year, or every 2 or 3, but not every year. That's rotate it, make it so old Jeff and Tom can enjoy one year and not have to worry about Bad Bunny in a dress. So anyway, thanks for coming by. You hungry?
Yeah, always good food here at Chick-fil-A.
You got it. So thank you, sir. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll close it out. We got basketball tonight at Milligan.
We're talking to Sherry Holtzclaw, one of our great sponsors, the Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. A lot of jewelry stores out there. Why the Jeweler's Bench?
So everything is done in-house. Nothing gets sent out. We do ring sizing, necklace repairs, replace stones, shorten bracelets, necklaces. We repair silver jewelry. There's not a lot of jewelry stores that will repair silver jewelry. So we're one of the ones that do. Occasionally watches, we do some watch repair. Some of it we do have to send that out occasionally, but I'll let you know when I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't go out without you knowing about it.
Watch batteries. They replace a lot of watch batteries. Again,
every day.
Yes. John Holtzclaw is one of the few jewelry repair people in the area. There's not many of them left, so they do jewelry repair here. Remember that. They ship all over the country. The website is
jewelersbench10.com.
The hours you're open are
Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 6, and then Saturday, 9:30 to 2.
All right. And social media, where do we find you?
Facebook and Instagram.
And the phone number is?
423-542-5600.
Be loyal, buy local. It's a mom and pop store. Been here for a long time here in Elizabethton, serving not just Elizabethton, but the entire Tri-Cities and really anywhere in the country. The Jeweler's Bench, proud sponsor of the Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. It's an exciting Milligan University basketball doubleheader. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting you to join me this Wednesday from Steve Lacey Fieldhouse as the Milligan University Buffs play host to the Monterey Cavaliers out of North Carolina in a basketball doubleheader. Lady Buffs will get it started at 5:15 with the men to follow, audio and video. Milligan hosting Monterey in a key AAC matchup. It all starts at 5:15 this Wednesday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Milligan University Buffalo basketball.
Hey there, neighbors. Todd Houston here with the Elizabethton Church of Christ, wishing you a very happy new year and a wildly successful 2026. I'd like to invite you to come and get to know our family here at Elizabethton as we are seeking to be more like our Lord every day. We're no perfect people, but we're a people that love the Lord and love you. We'd love to get to know you. If you'd like to join us, our times are at 10 and 11 a.m. on Sunday, 6:30 p.m., and then again Wednesday evening at 7. You can find us on Facebook or at elizabettoncoc.org.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, that's going to do it. Again, thank you for being with us. Again, we will rejoin you tonight at 5:15. Obviously, we've been talking about that and showing you the promo that's done, excellently done, by the way, by Carrie Taylor. Young lady works for me. She does a wonderful job. 5:15 with the Lady Buffs, which is not that far away. Tomorrow, we'll be at Poor Trav's Deli. The best steamed sandwiches in the Tri-Cities will be there. Tomorrow night, we got audio only. The Cyclones on the road at Sullivan East tomorrow night, a remake of Tuesday night's game. Last night got washed out or snowed out or cold out. I guess it would be washed out. Snowed out. And so we'll be there tomorrow night ready for that one. Let's give you the verse today. We always dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross. It goes like this. Psalms 143:8 says, "Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I lift up my soul." And I put on here, thank you, Lord Jesus, for not giving up on us. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for not giving up on us, that we can put our trust totally in you. Please continue to guide us, Lord, as you always know what's best for each of us. We are nothing without you. Let me read it again. Powerful. Psalms 143:8. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I lift up my soul. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for not giving up on us, and we can put our trust totally in you. Please continue to guide us, Lord, as you always know what's best for each of us. We are nothing without you. Whew. Good way to end it. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for our guests, Jeff Birchfield and Andrew Smith, both of those youngsters from the Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News sports staff. Rejoining you again at 5:15 for Milligan basketball. Then back tomorrow. Show number 2436 tomorrow will be at Poor Trav's Deli in Elizabeth, and the best steamed sandwiches in the Tri-Cities, bar none. Until then, we'll say, as we wrap up show number 2435 from here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City, we'll say, as always, bloom where you're planted, and win or lose, be a good sport. Thanks for watching show number 2435 on our way to 2500 today here at Chick-fil-A on People Street in Johnson City. Back at 5:15 with Milligan University basketball. Hang on. A lot of talking. Back at 5:15, Milligan University basketball. See you then, right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Bloom where you're planted, and win or lose, be a good sport. Thanks for watching the show.